Hello everyone, welcome back to the Grim Dawn League. Now, I have to first off apologize for being away for approximately a week. Some work stuff came up, end of year work stuff. I was doing my holiday stuff. I was updating all of my systems, so that made getting online rather sketchy. And unfortunately, due to this being the League version, there is an internet connection required, at least for this particular run. Um, and my graphics card was having an issue, which I resolved. That was due to the updates not going through correctly. Um, so here we finally are, but I apologize for the delays. Now, you might be wondering, Professor, you really aren't, you're not gonna like get really high on the rankings here. That's okay. As I stated in the first episode of this series, since I think it ends in like December 12th or something, as I stated in my original episode of this series, what I really wanted to do was just kind of figure out where the bosses were and. Well, not where the bosses were, excuse me, that isn't quite exactly what I was thinking. Which bosses gave me points and where these specific bosses are, which ones, where they are specifically. I The only thing I really want to test before December 12th, before the end of the league, is very specifically um, what does a change in difficulty matter? Like if I killed all of the enemies on regular, on veteran, excuse me, and then I move up to elite and kill them again, do they give me more points? That's the only real thing that I want to test right now, because this is basically my first season, obviously compared to the veterans, longtime veterans of this event. There's no way in hell that I'd be able to compete on any level with them. That was just not going to be possible. I didn't know or fully understand all of the changes. I'm sure I still don't, but I have a much better idea now. I know how ambushes work, for instance, and I know how I need to be adjusting my build. I know I need to be taking this a little bit more seriously next time, because I grossly underestimated the amount of damage I was taking in. There was a whole episode where I was just dying all over the place because was going with my usual playstyle and just waiting to use augments on my equipment, but obviously with the higher levels of the league, that's not something I can get away with. Uh, so that is something else, and of course, knowing these particular rules and knowing how all of that works, I would be able to actually more reliably plan a build. When I have here, while it is acceptable, it's by no means something that would probably work in the long term either. So I'm not going to like pretend, yes, I concocted this build. No. Now this is purely a matter of, hey, this is just something I have the opportunity to use. I haven't used it in a while, let's run with this. But yeah, my only real minimum goal at this point is to get to elite difficulty and kill at least a couple of bosses in the elite difficulty just to see if they give me points on the different difficulties, because that will inform my decision next year of how much I want to devote to actually wandering around the world, because I took my sweet ass time here too. I went through this game very slowly. I was looking at all the things. I was wandering around and killing everything that I could. There was all kinds of stuff going on. Right? So there I had all of that happening, and as a result, I really didn't I wasn't really moving through the game very quickly, and even now, my current intention right now is to minimally, like I said, get to Elite. Once I get to Elite and kill some bosses, I intend on going back to Veteran here and going through some of the side dungeons, the optional dungeons, and seeing if any of the bosses in those optional dungeons give me points, because that's going to give me a much better idea of what's going to give me points and what isn't for next year. And then, again, knowing how this works, I would be able to actually properly plan out a build. This is something that I will be definitely full planning a build. I don't normally do that. I normally do quasi-improv. But considering that this is next time I'm going to be taking it substantially more seriously now that I understand the level of difficulty I'll be confronting, I'll be able to better plan out a build. Whether that build will use items added by the mod or not, I don't know. I know they release a list of the items and changes. I don't know how long beforehand. I know it was available because I was made aware of it like a couple of weeks beforehand. You know, I didn't have a ton of time to prepare, and I also knew that based on the change list from the mod website that I wouldn't necessarily be able to fully come to grips with these changes until I'd actually personally experienced them. So, those are some really nice pants. I need to switch my swath off first, but that is a very nice pair of pants for me. Let me see. What do I want next? This. Actually, we're going to put that here. So, that's generally what my plan is. So, basically, this is all, like I said before, a practice run, sort of, just to figure out what's going on. And be able to better prepare next year. I'll definitely be looking for, well, it'll depend on what the released items are beforehand. I'll definitely be paying a bit more attention to that next year. But right now I'm just trying to figure out what's going to give me points and what isn't for next year. That's my goal. So, it's also interesting for me to note, although I'm not sure how accurate this is. Hold on. No, I don't know. There's no global chat. I don't know what happened to that. That's fairly interesting. But yes, I intend on, now that I know how it works, more preparation will be done next year. This is my test run. Like I said, I do need to hit elite difficulty first, because I do want to better understand very specifically whether or not there is a change in, you know, do the elite versions of bosses give me points too? That's something I'll need to test out. It's something I will be testing out very quickly. That's what the next couple of episodes are going to be focused on. And then it'll be all little experimentations after that besides. So that's my plan. I'm hoping to get that, at least the testing for Elite, done by the end of the month. And then any time additionally after that, I'll just be basically hunting down bosses in Veteran difficulty and seeing who gives me points and who doesn't, basically, is what my goal there is. Okay, that's interesting. So that is indeed my plan. What I might, how's my bleeding compared to, oh, I kind of need that, don't I? Yeah. What I probably will do, and this is kind of an important thing as well, now that I'm more comfortable modding the game, I've done some mini-series, not really fully going through mods, but I would like to do more mods while I prep some additional Grim Dawn content in the background. There is stuff I am working on behind the scenes for this game that I'm really not going to say much about, because first off, that ruins the surprise. Second off, I need to basically gather up specific resources and work on specific things first, but I am working on some stuff in the background for this. Well, I say working, let me rephrase that. I've planned out some stuff for this in the future that will take some work going on in the background, so between seasons, while I'm working on this Grim Dawn project behind the scenes, I would like to cover mods much more thoroughly and seriously now that I'm not nervous about them. This has been a great, successful modding experience using the Grim League mod, and, you know, I'm a lot more comfortable with modding again. So, you know, I am totally down to really go after some mods. So if there is a particular mod that you know of that you want me to examine, either from a strategic standpoint or simply a gameplay standpoint, let me know. I'll run through it at least once, possibly more, and see what goes on there. So that's just sort of if nobody suggests anything, I'll just find something on my own. So no pressure to volunteer anything if you don't want to, or if you don't have any ideas off the top of your head, that's fine. I'll pick a mod. There's a Necromancer mod I know exists that changes up how Necromancers work, so I might run through that with each Necromancer combination just to see how they changed it, whether or not Necromancer feels better, if that's a way I would prefer to play the Necromancer, things like that. So if nobody suggests anything, I'll probably dive into that and beat that once with each combination. Well, probably not even each combination, because there's some combinations with Necromancer that are built very similarly, but I probably will do that while, again, working on some projects for this game behind the scenes. So that's my plan with this game going forward. I haven't talked about my plan with this game since the League came out. And that's on me. I need to get a lot more serious here with my content, which is my plan here. So I will be tackling this with more vim and vigor, and basically laying some groundwork until the League ends, which, like I said, I believe is the 12th of December, and then I'll start blasting out mods and examining mod content, and then as I finish my behind-the-scenes projects, I will release those as they are finished. They're individual pieces. It's not like they all need to be complete before I release them. So just kind of keep that in mind. That is what I will be very specifically talking about and doing. So just because I had downtime doesn't mean I wasn't thinking about the channel. That should be all of this quest. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to return to the Rift, and then we'll end the episode there. I don't have a lot of time today. This is obvious. I'm recording this on Thanksgiving. Just for full awareness, any episode you see released, usually I have recorded that the previous day and set it to upload, and you see it the day after I've recorded it, generally speaking. So this is Thanksgiving. I don't have a whole lot of time. So we're going to go ahead and end the episode here. Thank you all very much for joining me. If you liked this, please like and subscribe. If you didn't, please ignore me. And if you have any comments, questions, concerns, ideas, suggestions, or requests, please leave them down in the comment section below. And thank you all very much for joining me, and have a great 24 hours.